Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Farm, thinking right now here in the lab where I do what I do for you. Oh, I got a nice one for you today. We just did the lesson number 10. We wrapping up with the Q&A lesson. It's going to be nice. One question, one answer, but good information. So let's go. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receive them. Hope it's working out for you. I appreciate you. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission. That's what I'm on. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission, and that's what I'm on, is to have all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. That's what I'm here to do for you. So I ask the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. So the question is, a person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them on the spiritual alarm clock here too. Wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and always too. Mayat be true. We just got finished wrapping up Mastery of Asar, becoming acquainted with your higher self from the physical realm and getting ready for the spiritual realm because that's where he resides. So let me ask, we just got finished with that. So I'm wrapping up with the Q&A. First of all, this is what at the every lesson you have questions and answers. This is a good question. Last time I look at it, we don't cover that, but this is a good one. I think this is a nice one. But after every lesson, you have what they call a page for reflecting. Okay, excuse me, I don't know if you can see that. But after every lesson, there's a lesson for you to write in your journal. Keep your lessons. Keep track of what you're doing. Okay, I did this years ago. So it's funny to me because I remember doing this. I want to read over the little part right here. It says at the top of each page, you copy the following hieroglyphs and the best of your ability, to the best of your ability. I can't draw, so I'm not a scribe. Ain't in me, I ain't trying. But that's what they're showing you how to do that with the hieroglyphs. Okay, yeah. But now, after studying the lesson we just went through, proceed to what? Answer the following questions and write your answer in your personal journal. See, this is a lesson. And if you treat it that way, you'll see what they tell you about right here. And this tells you, and this exercise will require what? More than just reading. Well, no, more than just reading, more than what? One journal entry. Okay. Shortcuts and half-assed, and don't waste your time. If that's what you're about, this ain't gonna work for you. And what? You have to have at least one page, write all you can find related to the subject that you just studied that's in question. You answer the question first without what? Referring to the text. Don't go back and try to cheat. Well, I remember it. No, use what the knowledge that you have of what you read, and this is how you test yourself. Okay, that's what this is really about. Watch this. Now the exercise is to what? To be repeated. Excuse me. No. Answer the questions first without referring to the text you just read. It's okay, but then you go back to see if you missed anything. After you put your thoughts down and go back and see if it matches. If you go back and match it, go word for it. That's not learning. That's copying. Come on now. Sorry. All right, let's go on. So some people don't have learning basic skills of just how to learn. So I'm trying to help you out. But this exercise is what is to be repeated until what? until you become proficient. Proficient. In order for you to be promoted in educational systems, you have to take tests to show suitable what we call proficiency in what you learn in Masonic order. Before I give you degree number 2, you got to show me suitable proficiency with degree number 1 that you're supposed to learn. That's how it's done, and it's a progress. So you do it until you personally become proficient with what? With said principles of whatever spirit we're studying. Right now, this is the Asar. This is the one, the spirit, and we're going back up. Okay, we started out with Haru, Set, Nebthet Asar. Now we at Asar. This is self-mastery at the highest level. Okay, now you should be proficient. Why? Now the self-reflection exercise should be done when? After each reading or study session. Go over it. See if what you read, see if you retained any of it. See if you can recall and get understanding of any of it. Just reading through it and then, well, I read it. Did you understand it? Did you download? Did you compartmentalize it? Did it take any effect? Well, again, bad study habits. Moving on. And then what? If you do this on a regular basis, then you may now practice the meditation aspect. It's level before you get there. Your meditation on what? On the wisdom you have learned. You may come back and add to your reflections, even if you move on to other lessons. I don't recommend that because I'm not going to let you move on until you give me everything you got in this one. You can't go, no, it don't work that way, but he gives you the opportunity to do that because you're on your own accord. Again, I understand. But reflections, the Lord of the Black, the nothingness of the deep being, okay? When I tell you at death, don't go to the light. What? That's the trap door. Back to here. Go to the darkness. I come to you. Watch this. I come to you for what? Knowing I am more than what? The death of bodies. Dark ain't the last end all be all. Venture down that street. Okay, no street. No, don't worry about that. Let's go. Lord of the netherworld. Okay. Lord of the land of what? No thought. Open my eyes to the worlds where beyond and the glories of what? You ready? Immortality. That's what Asar represents. When you're ready for that, that means this physical body no longer concerns you. You have no use for it. Hence the mummy. As you were once dead, watch this, in the physical, but now you live. Let me live. Only if you what? Pass judgment, you earn the right to do that. With who? Asar. Okay, your father, metaphorically, philosophically. Okay, that's the concept. Y'all gave it to the other guy. That's you, Haru. Sorry. Let me be green. Green is significant of life. The greenery is what grows out of the ground. Okay, we need to eat what? The greens, fresh plants. Okay, you are green, and what? Let me be black. Hello, as you are black, and let me see what? The way to ever free what? The gateway where? To darkness. Everybody wants to go to the light. No, my boy, step into the darkness. Okay, your gateway into darkness and what? And the light. There's light in the darkness. Gotta get to the darkness first. Okay, that's what they're telling you. Now, after studying that, yeah, okay, now let's go to the question. The question here was doing a set and Asar, a set and that in action to create another factor. When wisdom and soul get together, that's Haru. That's me and you. When wisdom and mortality get together, they bring on Anpu, which is another aspect of our character that's also in you. Let's try to break that down. Hope I'm trying to get this lesson across. So the question is, my question has to do with the Asarian resurrection and the principles of the personality of Asar and Aset and Nebthet. In the union of Asar and Aset versus the union of Asar and Nebthet, one union seemed as what? Righteous or right. Okay, that's his wife. So, okay, that's cool. That one. And as correct union. And the other one may be perhaps not supposed to be. No, it's the purpose for it, and that's why we're gonna answer that question. That's a good question, and my man answered it perfect. So I want to use this as I got mine, but I'm gonna use his. Now, answer by Dr. Sabi, my man Ashby, Brother Muwata Ashby. Mythologically, remember, we're speaking from a mythological concept. Don't get confused. I find myself in arguments about the biblical characters. I gotta catch myself. So this is mythological speaking. In the mythic sense, the union have a philosophical meaning. Again, these are stories with message. And the mystical meaning, an esoteric meaning behind them. That means there's a hidden meaning. I'm trying to get you there. Work with me. And if you try to apply your ordinary limited human social morality, which is based on a particular culture, which is the Western civilization today, right now, then I get more questions from Christian aspects. I'm not a Christian. You keep using Christian concepts to come at me. I don't defend, justify, or do nothing from the Bible. Mine is an ancient Egyptian concept. Ask me about that. I can answer them. I can't answer for the Christian Bible stuff. I got to leave that to my pastor and y'all followers of that book. But it's based on your culture. And then what? You're going to come up with different answers and you'll lose the what? The mystic teaching. That's the whole part about it. You'll miss the esoteric meaning. For example, you got people who follow Islam and are going to look and say, oh, wow, this is some wild, orgastic, demonic religion. Why? Through ignorance. But whatever, when I was in Egypt, I heard that kind of statements being made from people there who are what? Muslims. Anytime something don't coincide with what your beliefs are, no, understand and respectfully realize it's different. How about that? Understand that, and you won't have that negative connotation that goes with, cause it ain't what you say. Moving on, and now you got your Christians, and y'all think alike as well. So, but you have the Hindus who may not think that way. Why? Because they have a similar tradition. Metaphorically, a myth is a teaching tool that has a lesson behind it and the events, which is the plots, the themes, and relations that's contained in it. There's a reason and a purpose to trying to get you to learn and understand something. Stop questioning all those concepts and listen and learn. And then you can question whatever after you've learned it. Don't question before you get it. And I explained this a little bit earlier in this series, I'm sure, and explained this also in prior classes, that when what? That when you are, it's called reading a myth. When you're trying to read and fully understand what the sage has brought forth, what? Metaphorically and metaphysically, as well as philosophically. They trying to break it down in every aspect so you can get an understanding of it. Never mind this, that, and the third. Did you get the message? Like my man Eddie Griffin said, everybody, Allah, this one, that. Damn, who bought it? Did you get it? That's the concept. So if you try to, as I say, apply the social morality for what you think is based on some conception of what time and space, phenomenically, okay, interpretation, then you're going to what? Come up with something mundane, and most time something that is going to appear primitive, as well as sometimes even gross, and perhaps even vulgar to your way of thinking, which is okay, but that don't make it wrong or right. It's just to you. And this is how many in Western culture have what? Tended to look at these things of our ancient ancestors, and in general, everything that is not what? originated in their Western culture. If it ain't Christianized, it ain't nothing. That's all they know. Moving on. That's we making the point right here. I agree. And those of us who have been reared in Western culture, Christian concepts, Islamic Judaism, all the same, in whole or in part, must take care not to apply those standards, but to see what the ancient Egyptians proverb says. It says, strive to see with the inner eye, the heart. It sees the reality, not the subject, or the emotionality, the emotional or personal error. In humans, if you look with these two eyes, you can be deceived. Simple as that. When you look with the spiritual eye, it sees what's real. I see what you're not looking at. Why? I see spirit. You just see physical body. That's why. Moving on. And what happened? The spirit, the eye, third eye opening, it sees the essence. Intuition then is the most important quality to develop. Knowledge of self, be intuitively and have your discernment in order for you can recognize the true from untrue, real from not real, male from female. Y'all having a gender problem now. I look at it, I don't know what it was. I'm saying to look at something, you should be able to decide it's a male or female. I couldn't figure that out. So I keep saying, what is that? Scary. That's not a good place. And with these eyes, I couldn't see. But I know this, I know what that is. But I just said, these eyes can't recognize. Wow. It's getting bad. Moving on, let me wrap this lesson up. Hope you're enjoying it. Let me get this my point across. Hopefully you're getting the concept. So when we're looking at the union, I'm going to get to the point. This is the good stuff right here. The union of Asar and Aset. We're looking at the creation of Haru. Me and you. We're built on Spirit and intuitive wisdom, knowledge from within. That's what makes us us. We become aspirants. Why? To become and fulfill our destiny. To be our best self and go back to our Father. Asar, the soul, comes together with intuition, which is Aset, with wisdom. And it brings forth aspirations and the desire for enlightenment. That's us. When the soul comes together with death, that represents Nebthet. Asar and Nebthet, it opens up a door to discernment. What you mean? Because the soul now realizes that it is not the body. I'm not this. It's not eternal in the body. Well, the body gonna run out. This ain't me. Why? I got eternal life. I can't die. So it starts to ask that question that lead to knowledge of self, of right and wrong, and truth and untruth, and wisdom versus ignorance. See where we're going this? That moral thing that goes inside us, upper and lower, upper Haru, lower Set. Now, which eventually, now you're dealing with mortality and immortality. Once the soul knows that the body is not it, it's not the body, it's striving to raise its conscious level to find out who it is, because it's not the physical body. That's where we're going. Watch this. So, in the relationship with Asar, which represents spirit, when it hooks up with death, mortality, it recognizes itself as not being the body. Now, comes with spirit, connects with wisdom, intuitive, it knows who it is. That's what the difference is, and it's the purpose. Watch this. Now, knowing wisdom and ignorance from difference. Now, which eventually would lead to, you ready? Spiritual enlightenment, aka knowledge of self. So, from this higher perspective, you can go back and look at where I talked about, the principle of Asar and the principle of Nebthet as the principle of death and mortality, and the means for Asar to reincarnate. One can see this death as detrimental aspect, but actually that principle of Nebthet potentially opens the door for our souls to be free from the physical body that's going to die, and to be able to to redemption, to eternity, if it's enlightened. If it's ignorant of itself, reincarnation. And watch this. And otherwise, if there was no Nebthet, no nature, the soul would now be caught in the the physicality when forever. That means it'll be trapped in the dead body. Not good, okay? And would not be able to escape the pains and sorrows of life as well as the delusions of its human existence. I'm only human. I'm only human. I'm just human. Yeah, keep telling yourself that, and you'll keep repeating that same cycle of life, thinking you're human. I am God. Different concept. Now, you are what you think you are. Now I know I'm God. So therefore, it's not a question of one relationship is good or another bad, but the reality is that both are necessary, and therefore it's going to be quality, of relationship will be based on the quality of relationship will be based on what? Ignorance, as most people do, so that they do not develop. You ready? Dispassion, that emotional contact they got to just act out and let their feelings be known. And you can't develop dispassion, being able to control that, or gain wisdom to what? Keep on suffering and reincarnating, or it will be more elevated. And we will discuss more later. I got to go and party right there. May y'all let it be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thing like you passed away. I'll be back.